If your leads keep saying no to you, even if your product is brilliant, you're not bad at sales. You're just missing the psychology that makes people say yes to you. This video breaks down 3 psychology tricks top sellers use to get people to buy. Not through manipulation or high pressure, but simple shifts that change how buyers feel during the sales call. So every founder wants to close more deals without constantly chasing. Every seller wants to feel in control of the conversation. But unless you understand how buyers actually make decisions, you'll keep losing deals that should just be easy wins. So after analyzing probably 500 plus failed sales calls and helping close to 50 founders go from closing 1 in 10 deals to over 7 in 10, here's what I discovered. It's rarely ever about the product, and it's rarely ever about the price too, but it's nearly always about psychology. The sellers who win understand how a buyer's brain actually works, and they use that knowledge to make the sale inevitable. So in the next few minutes, I'll teach you 3 of the most powerful psychology tricks to be able to sell anything and to make people give you their money. And stick around for the 3rd one, because it's probably the opposite of what you've been taught, and that's exactly why it works so well. Let's get into it. Psychology trick number 1 is something 90% of sellers get completely backwards. They think if they can just explain the problem clearly enough, then buyers will act. But what actually happens is your lead just nods along while you're talking. They agree with everything that you say, and then they tell you that they need to go away and think about it. And that happens so much to people. But why? It's because you didn't make it hurt enough for them. And I have the perfect example to demonstrate this exact point. So I listened to a founder's sales call last week. It was a perfect fit. His solution would fix a problem and immediately create this guy's company an extra $8K a month. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? So the founder explains the problem clearly, even showed them exactly how much it was costing them. The guy even said, yeah, you know what, you're right. This is definitely an issue that we need to fix. And at this point you're thinking, this is a done deal. Should be an easy close, right? Wrong. Because at the end of the call he said, this sounds great, but let me go away and think about it and get back to you in a couple of weeks. Absolutely mental, right? So what went wrong here then? Well, he mentioned the 8K loss once and then moved on to features, case studies, and everything else. So to the buyer, that 8K felt like background noise. Annoying, sure, but not very urgent. Not painful enough to be able to fix it today. So he just pushed it aside. So imagine a toothache. At first, it's just a bit annoying, right? You ignore it for a little while, hope it will fix itself. But then it starts hurting when you start to eat. So you start to notice it a little bit more, but still you don't call the dentist because it's still quite manageable. Only when it's so bad that you can't sleep, you can't think, you can't do anything, but all you can do is feel that pain, do you pick up the phone, you book an appointment, and you will literally pay whatever it costs just to make that pain stop. That's exactly how buyers think too. Their brain doesn't act on problems, it acts on pain. So psychology trick number 1 is pain amplification. And there's a specific sequence that you can use that turns any problem into a can't ignore pain. It's 3 very simple steps. So here's how it works. So step 1 is the latent pain, and that's where you surface the problem that they feel but would probably just ignore. So your close rate is around 15%, so pretty much most of your prospects are saying no to you. This is them first noticing that toothache. Step 2 is the realized pain, and that's when you show them what it's actually costing them. So that's nearly 8 out of 10 qualified buyers walking away. So at 5K a deal, you're losing probably 40K a month? This is the toothache becoming a little bit more annoying now. And step 3 is the extreme pain. So show them the future cost of their inaction. So every month that you wait to fix this, that's another 40K gone forever. So in a year, that's nearly $500,000 in lost revenue. Now they can't sleep, they can't think, they can't do anything but feel that pain of that toothache. Because now it hurts, it really hurts. $500,000 in lost revenue. What am I playing at? I need to fix this. Now they simply have to act. So what most sellers will do is stop at step 1. They mention the problem and then they wonder why nothing happens. But pain drives action, not problems. So make it hurt enough and they'll move quickly. And by the way, if this resonates, if you're sitting there thinking, I'm definitely not doing that properly, I work with founders to spot these exact gaps in their sales process. So if you want a little bit of help and a clear breakdown of what's not working and how to change it, just click the first link in the description to book some time with me. But if you thought that first one was powerful, this next one will shock you. Because psychology trick number 2 is the difference between begging for business and having buyers chase you. Most sellers will position themselves as an option. But the very best position themselves as the only logical path forward. And I used to make this mistake all the time too. I'd get on calls, I'd pitch my features, my benefits, case studies, the whole 9 yards. And my prospects would listen to me politely, and then they'd hit me with, sounds good, but just to let you know, we are looking at a few other options too. And this would happen a lot, and I'll be frank, it cost me a shit ton of commission. Until I took the time to understand what was actually happening here. I was positioning myself as just another option in their comparison spreadsheet. Option A, option B, option C. When you're in a lineup like that, buyers focus on what could go wrong with each choice, and that's why they stall. So then I changed my approach completely. Instead of pitching my service, I just started mapping their journey. So where are you now with this? Where do you want to be? What's stopping you from getting there? I was just having much bigger picture conversations with them, and then suddenly I wasn't competing anymore. I was the guy that was showing them the way. So think of it like this. You're not the destination, you're the GPS. When someone's lost, they don't care whether it's Google or Apple Maps. They just want to know, will this get me to where I need to go? So people don't buy products, they buy progress. They buy the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. So your job isn't to sell them on your features, it's to show them that you're the most efficient path to their goal. So psychology trick number 2 is positioning yourself as the bridge. Step 1, map their current state. You're closing 3 out of 10 deals right now. Step 2, paint their desired future. You want to get to 7 out of 10 consistently. And step 3, position yourself as the bridge. So here's the exact gap that's stopping you right now, and here's how we close it. Now you're not pitching your product anymore. You're just giving them a way out of their problem. And when you're the only bridge that they can see, the choice becomes very, very obvious for them. So the bottom line is this. Stop trying to convince them that you're a good option, and instead, start showing them why you're the only option. But let me be straight with you, because here's exactly what's going to happen. Even when they see you as the bridge to their goal, their brain will still start throwing objections anyway. It's human nature. They think that they need to protect themselves in some way. And that's why most deals die. So psychology trick number 3 is using their own words against them. Now, most people think, I need to think about it, means the person needs more information. Or it's too expensive, means that they just need to justify the price. But most of the time, that's not what's happening. These aren't real objections at all. They're literally just smoke screens. The buyer isn't sure about something, but they can't say what because they're too scared to tell you that. So they give you what they think is a socially acceptable excuse instead. Let me show you what I mean, but with an example. So let's say your lead tells you that your solution is a good one. It solves their exact problem, and then suddenly they just say, I need to go away and think about it for a bit. So instead of panicking and re-pitching here, you just say, help me understand something if you don't mind. Earlier on in the call, you said this was exactly what you needed. So I'm just curious, what's changed between then and now? They pause and then they say, honestly, I'm just not really sure if my team will actually use it. Boom. Now you have the real objection, and you can handle it straight away. So here's the psychology. When people feel kind of inconsistent, their brain automatically tries to resolve it. And you create that tension by reflecting their own words back to them. They said this was perfect, and now they're hesitating. So something doesn't add up here. And when you point that out to them, the truth comes spilling out. Because now they have to explain that gap to you. And when they do, that real objection comes out. Not the fake one hiding behind logic, but that real fear which is actually driving their hesitation. So the bottom line is this. Most sellers fear objections, but top salespeople use them as the key to unlock the real conversation. So now you know the 3 most powerful psychology tricks that make buyers actually want to buy. You can amplify pain, position yourself as an escape route, and you can surface real objections by using their own words against them. But here's the problem. Most sellers can get the truth out and then still fumble the close anyway. But the very best salespeople don't just expose the objection, they eliminate it before it even shows up. And if it does slip through, they use a specific response that flips any hesitation into immediate action. So click here to watch that video now and get the exact playbook that turns I need to think about it into let's do this.